You don't have to know the perfect Bible verse to remind him of. You don't have to know what to say because he knows more than you do.
Yeah, sure does.
I was often reminded of the story that's told several times in the Gospels of the woman with the bleeding condition.
Yeah.
She touched the hem of his garment. She didn't say a word to him. She touched his garment.
That's good.
And she got what she needed.
Yeah.
You don't have to say the right words. You don't have to say the right verse. You don't have to have it perfect. You just have to know who to look to.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Faith Ignite podcast, and we're so excited you decided to join us for today's episode. Hey, if you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're a returner, thank you so much for returning back. Hey, and I want to ask you to do a few things before we jump into today's episode. If you wouldn't mind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and turn it on so you are aware when new episodes are released. That helps us a lot to be able to help push this content out to the people that need them and all around the world. And secondly, if you want to partner with this ministry, you can follow the link below. It'll take you to our website, and you can partner with us there, become a financial partner of this ministry to help us do exactly what we're doing now, documenting and taking these stories of faith around the world to the people that need them, because faith comes by hearing. And so we need to hear something. And by you partnering with us, you're allowing us and giving us access and the resources to be able to share these stories with people around the world. And then thirdly, if you have something that's going on in your life, please let us know. Drop a comment below, reach out to us on social media, send us an email, however you want to do it, but just let us know so how we can be standing in faith and in agreement for the things you are believing for. And so now that we have all of the formalities out of the way, today's guest, she actually reached out. She actually messaged us in the DMs, and that's how we actually connected. And so she kind of shared a little bit of her story, and I was intrigued, and I had to call her, and I said, hey, I need you to give me a rundown, probably 5 seconds into her, 5, maybe 10 seconds into her explaining. I told her to stop because I didn't want to know anything else until we got on the podcast. So today's guest, she born and raised here in Tulsa, was a teacher, multi-level marketing, still actually does to some degree, but now she has a different twist and outlook on life because God has proved himself to be a healer in her life, and through that journey she's been able to walk with God and be able to use the situation that she has or she's walking through in life to bring honor and glory to God and be able to help others so that they can be able to be victorious on the other end. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mrs. Jami Sullins.
Thank you so much for having me. I am excited that you replied to my DM and that we are able to sit here today.
Yeah. So one question I always like to ask every guest: who do I have the pleasure of sitting with? Who is Jami?
I love that question. Number one, a daughter of the most amazing King.
Amen.
That is the number one thing that describes me. You know, it's funny that you ask that because before my life got turned upside down, I was actually writing a book on that exact question. Because a lot of women, especially when they're asked that question, who are you? The first thing they say is their marital status, whether they're a mom or not, and then their job. Those are the three things that most women find that define them. And we are so much more than that. Yes, I am a wife. Yes, I am a mother of 3. And yes, I've had several professions. Yeah. But that is not who I am. Yeah. Who I am is defined by my God, Jesus Christ.
Wow. So, I mean, you mentioned it, so we're going to go there. So give me the preview, the snapshot, if you will, of what life was like before it was turned upside down. What was Jami into? What was Jami doing? What was Jami all about at that point?
All right. I was busy. I was super busy. Like you said, I was in multi-level marketing, a top-level leader of my company, and I found a lot of value in myself in that, which has been changed. But I really thought that made me who I was. Now, in that, I knew that there was more. Yeah. And God had really been working on me in that. I have always wanted to get into public speaking and book writing and things like that. And I had just started that process. Yeah. Just started writing my book and really promoting myself as a speaker, mainly to businesses and leaders in businesses. That is what I thought God wanted to push me into. But life changed when I received a phone call and it was breast cancer. That's the phone call I got. It was a terrible health scare, but our God is so good that he used my journey through that. My healing journey was not just a physical healing journey. It turned my mind upside down and has changed so many different things about my life.
Yeah. So even with that, so getting that phone call, I know some people, like when they receive bad news, they could tell you where they were standing, they could tell you the day, the time, and everything concerning it. But what was it like when you, I mean, like I said, life for you was going great. You were successful in all aspects of the word according to the world standards. I mean, you were doing everything. You were busy, but you were making money. You were succeeding. You were on top and rising. And then you have this brick wall that you run into. So kind of talk to me about that, because I'm pretty sure you're not the only person that at a moment's notice, life changes upside down and your faith at that point is shaken and rocked. So talk to me about that whole process of what it was like getting that phone call and what it was the process after that.
You know, it's interesting you say that my faith was shaken. And I've had a lot of people ask me, did you question God? Did you ask why? Never once. Never once did I. Let me tell you, I think God really prepared me for my diagnosis. Let's go back quite a few years.
Okay.
I had my first breast cancer scare at 18 years old. Now, I found a lump in my breast at 18 years old. I did have a lumpectomy. It was benign, not cancerous.
Yeah.
I went through that again, my mid-20s. I went through it again, my mid-30s.
Okay.
This was time number 4. But I will tell you, and this is something that's always awkward to talk about in front of men, but I'm getting good about it. The minute I touched that lump in my breast, I knew it was different. I knew in my heart that I had cancer before I ever received the call of cancer. But I'm thankful for that time, because in that time, I learned to say, all right, God, even if it is, you're still good.
Yeah.
Even if it is, you're still God.
Yeah.
And so I never had my faith shaken up when I got that diagnosis. I just said, okay, there it is. What are we doing now?
Yeah. Wow. You know, I think about it like, what's the difference between a common cold and breast cancer to God? What's the difference between a sore throat and breast cancer to God? It doesn't matter the, how would I say it? The diagnosis, doesn't matter the situation, doesn't matter the condition. The same power that healed the sore throat is the same power that can heal breast cancer. To God, it doesn't matter. Healing is healing.
Absolutely.
But I noticed like one thing, there's a, whose report are you going to believe? There's always going to be a report that someone's given you, whether it's good or bad. You have the opportunity. So I can imagine you on that phone call. You're like, Jami, sorry to tell you, but it's cancer. So at that point, you could be like, you could choose to be like, oh, man, life is over. But your response was, okay, God, what are you going to do about it?
Right. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't bawl my eyes out.
Oh.
I was luckily with my husband at the time that we received the call. And I immediately put it on speakerphone. And we, number one, went to task mastering, got out the notebook. What doctor am I seeing? What are my next steps?
Yeah.
But as soon as that phone hung up, we were both in tears. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say, God's going to take care of me. I knew he would, but still the human in me was devastated. I was heartbroken, not knowing what was going to happen next.
Yeah, man. And so after receiving that phone call, so now you're trying to figure out, okay, what next steps? And so from that point on of walking through what this looks like, because I'm reminded of the verse in Isaiah where it says, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are above your thoughts. And to understand that we have an understanding of how we want God to do something.
Right.
But he always has the way that he wants to do it. And so obviously your healing came a little different than it was like, got it, done, move on. And yours was a little different in that sense, but walk me through that process of what it was like to walk out that healing, where some people they want to be instantly healed of something.
Right.
But it doesn't happen that way. But yours was a little longer. So walk me through that process of what it was like to walk out that healing week after week, day after day, month after month, and then to see like you're now walking in the fulfillment of that, even though it took what we think is longer time versus someone that was instantly healed.
Right. It's been almost a 2.5-year journey at this point. And I know you don't have 2.5 years to listen to my story. So I'm going to try and take it a long story and make it a little more concise.
Okay.
The first thing I want to share is I didn't know what treatment path I wanted to go down.
Okay.
There is traditional medicine, but there's awful things said about that.
Yeah.
Is it true? Is it not? I don't know.
Yeah.
Then you have the naturopathic way of healing, holistic. I knew there was value in that, but I had a fear in the back of my mind, will it work?
Okay.
So I did a lot of wrestling with that. I was looking at different clinics out of state because Oklahoma is not a right to try state. There's only one state in the U.S., which is Arizona, that allows naturopathic and holistic healing to be done.
Okay.
So if I was going to go that route, it would mean moving. Then I knew that I had doctors here that claimed that they could heal me, but what were the long-term effects of that going to be? Yeah. And so I really had to wrestle with that and really had to take that to God, number one.
Yeah.
I had a peace beyond peace when I met with my very first doctor, who was a breast surgeon. My husband and I went to his office and, we heard the plan mapped out. And I walked away from his office and I knew, just in my heart, I knew that was the path to go. Yeah. Now, I did a lot of naturopathic changes. I changed my diet, changed all of my skincare, took out as many toxins from my life as I could. So I like to say I kind of did a combination of both of those without having to move out of state, because to me, my community is my family, and I knew they were going to support me. And if I was in Arizona, I didn't know what that was going to look like. Also, I'm the most extroverted extrovert you'll ever meet, and I needed my people to keep a good peace of mind through the whole situation. So I did a journey here in Tulsa. I started at the first clinic, and let me tell you, you can fire doctors. You do not have to do what the doctor says. Yeah. I encountered a doctor that we did not see eye to eye. He told me I was wasting my money on different naturopathic things that I was doing, and I needed someone that was going to support me. Yeah. So I actually fired that doctor and went and found another doctor. Let me tell you that's not an easy task, but God. Yeah. But God, because he used other people in my life to lead me to the doctor that helped me finish up my treatment. Wow. Now, I do want to say there were times during chemotherapy, because I did 16 rounds of chemotherapy. Wow. I have, at this point, had 6 surgeries. I have another one planned for December, a 7th surgery. I am cancer-free, but the ramifications of treatment did take a toll on my body. Yeah. Back to what I was saying. During chemo, there were days that were miserable, absolutely miserable. Yeah. And on those days, I didn't have the words to pray. I didn't know what to pray for. I didn't have the energy to go open my Bible. Yeah. I would literally lay in bed or on the couch, wherever I was at the time, and just say his name over and over again. I would just close my eyes and in the peace of my home, just say, Jesus. Yeah. Because that's all I knew to say. Yeah. And I knew he knew what I needed, even though I didn't even know what I needed. Yeah. And he took care of me on those days. And he took care of me with a vision. And I can still picture it in my mind. Even though I never physically saw it, I know it happened. I have this big flowered chair in my living room. Okay. And I would picture him sitting in that chair. And it was really interesting because it was not my earthly father. It was Jesus in that chair. But it gave me the vision of me as a little bitty girl curling up in my daddy's lap. And I curled up in my mind. I curled up in that chair in Jesus's arms, and he held me. He held me on those days that all I could do was cry out his name.
Yeah.
You don't have to know the perfect Bible verse to remind him of. You don't have to know what to say because he knows more than you do.
Yeah, he sure does.
I was often reminded of the story that's told several times in the Gospels of the woman with the bleeding condition.
Yeah, yeah.
She touched the hem of his garment. She didn't say a word to him. Yeah. She touched his garment.
That's good.
And she got what she needed.
Yeah.
You don't have to say the right words. You don't have to say the right verse. You don't have to have it perfect. You just have to know who to look to.
Wow. That's good. So even in the midst of all of that, going through the process of chemo and all the surgeries and stuff, you knew one thing was sure, one thing was constant, that he would never leave. Like the Bible says, he will never leave you nor forsake you. And you have a deeper revelation of what that means than the average person.
Absolutely.
You have a deeper revelation and see like, wow, God has shown himself faithful, that he wouldn't leave you no matter what came, that he was there. And I remember the story. I remember the story as a kid in the bathroom, in my childhood bathroom, there was always a painting on the wall. And every time I go, after I wash my hands, I would go dry my hands off in the towel. I would look at this painting, and it's the poem with the boy walking through the sand.
Yes.
And to see like where you started with two steps, and it gets to one, and then one sets of footprints.
Where were you?
Like, where were you? He said, that was the times I was carrying you. And that when you talked about it, they remind me of that story where those are days where it was miserable. You couldn't carry yourself, but Jesus did.
Right. Man. Absolutely. Yeah, it's the perfect correlation to that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So now that you're at this point where, okay, chemo is done, like you're now starting to, I guess let me backtrack. Now that you would have done all the chemo and everything, at what point did you get the confirmation of your victory where you were cancer free? Talk to me about that.
That came at the time of my mastectomy. I've had a double mastectomy, and at that time they took tissue samples, and I got the words, no evidence of disease. Now, cancer-free is somewhat of a farce in the cancer community because cancer still has a hold of me. It still has a hold of my mind. It still has a hold of a lot of things in my body. Right now I'm dealing with lymphedema. My body's swelling. It can't get rid of its toxins. That's all in correlation to the cancer. So yes, by normal people terms, I'm cancer-free.
Yeah.
But technically, I'm just no evidence of disease because cancer has still wrecked my body. So yes, it's semantics.
Yeah.
But I got that no evidence of disease on December 3rd, 2024. Like you said, I'll always know
the date.
That exact date. I mean, that's no different than the birth of one of my children.
Yeah.
I know that date.
You'll always remember
I
that
know
date.
that date. But that actually was the start of all my reconstruction surgeries, which is a whole different story. My body wreaked havoc on itself. And I started, when they did my breast reconstruction, my body actually pushed the implants out of my body, opened incisions back up and pushed it back out.
Wow.
I've been on quite a journey as far as surgeries. My body's crazy. Let me just tell you that.
Wow.
My body's crazy. But I have found a different surgeon that is helping me in a different state.
Yeah.
I'm having to travel down to Louisiana for reconstruction now.
Okay.
But God is still good.
God is good.
God is still good.
Regardless. And so this would be a good pivot and segue here.
Yeah.
So from the worst time in your life where life was turned upside down, God gave you a blessing in the midst of all of it. So talk to me about that.
I always say God has a big sense of humor. Here I am in what should be the worst time of my life.
Yeah.
And an idea was birthed that turned into a business.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the path of that.
Okay.
Chemotherapy, I did lose all of my hair. Now, most people think that's a done deal if you're on chemo. It's actually only about 60% of people that are on chemo lose their hair.
Okay.
And it depends on the type of chemo that you're taking.
Okay.
I did lose all of my hair.
Okay.
Now, I love fashion. I love bright colors. I love lots of patterns, as you can probably tell from my outfit. I just think that fashion is a statement, and I absolutely love it. But here I was. My hair was my signature. I typically wore a purple mohawk.
Okay.
Now, I would lay it back. It wasn't like the 80s rocker band mohawk, but I had super fun hair, and now it was gone. And I kind of felt like a little bit of myself was gone in that because I had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out something that was going to work on my head.
Yeah.
I tried all different kinds of things. I tried wigs. They're hot. They're itchy. They're terrible. They're awful. I hated them. I tried scarves. They would just slip and slide on my head and just fall off without me even knowing. I tried hats. Crazy thing. Ball caps, that little metal knob on the top.
Yeah.
When I was bald, my head was so sensitive, and that would just irritate my scalp like crazy. So
things you don't think about.
I know, right? So I really struggled to find anything. I kind of figured that beanies were going to be the way to go.
Yeah.
But when I would look on Amazon or even the wig websites and things like that, all these beanies I looked at looked like they were made for an 80-year-old woman. They were pretty. Yeah. I don't really do pretty. I do fun. I do colorful. I don't do dainty little colors and flowers.
Yeah.
I needed something bold and bright and me.
Yeah.
Now, I have sewn since I was in high school.
Okay.
But never as a business, just for fun. But I knew that I could probably figure this thing out. So I went to YouTube, watched a couple tutorials, went to the fabric store, found fabrics that were my style, and started making beanies. Now, these were just for me. Yeah. Just for me, because I needed my personality back, my signature personality back in my style. And when I would wear them to the cancer clinics, everyone started asking me where I was getting them because they were wearing those Golden Girl beanies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They were wanting fun ones. And I would tell them, I made this. And the first question was, will you make me one? And I'm like, girlfriend, I'm in the midst of treatment. No, I'm not going to make you one. And I kept getting the same question, even from people in my online social media community. My mom's going through treatment. Will you make her one? All this. And I kept saying no, no, no. But in the back of my mind, God was like, girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, are you giving me a business or are you giving me a ministry? And I didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So I just continued to pray about it. I knew I wasn't doing anything with it right then. Yeah. Because I was just trying to survive. After treatment was over, I continued to pray about it. Is it a business or is it a ministry? I just didn't know. Yeah. One morning I woke up and I knew in my heart that it was both.
Yeah.
It was both. So I think back to like the Tom's shoes, how they say you buy one, you give one. And they really do that because I passed out Tom's shoes in Honduras. So just if anyone's skeptical, it really happens. I knew that I was going to do the exact same thing. So I started it out. I went to the fabric store, R.I.P. Joanne Fabrics, because I missed that store. The only good fabric store in town is now gone. Yeah. But I bought them out of all of their knits before they closed their doors. And I've gone to town at my sewing machine. And these are the beanies. So a couple things that are super, super important about the beanies. First, you have to touch that.
Oh, it's super soft.
Super soft. So I like to say buttery soft.
Yeah, this is super
buttery soft.
Stretchy
so that,
too.
Yes, that's super important. They have to be soft because I want this to be the most comfortable thing that someone's ever going to wear. Okay. They have to be fun colors, bright patterns, things like that. Now, I have a basic black because there are those people too. Yeah. I'm trying to cater to everyone here, but you're going to find super fun prints. Okay. And one other thing that was super important is you will never see an exposed seam on any of my products. Oh. Because those seams would rub. I got some cheap beanies and the surged seams against my sensitive scalp really, really hurt. So those are things in Comfort Beanie that make them different from any other beanie you're going to find. Okay. I say comfort, style, and generosity. They're going to be a cute style. They're going to be super comfortable, but we have that generosity built in. Anytime someone shops with us, it funds the donation of a beanie to someone currently in treatment. So I've been able to do 2 donation days at a clinic here in Tulsa. My mom goes with me, and I have a cart full of beanies, and I just get to walk through the infusion room. Here's the beautiful thing. This is the reason for a conversation. Now, I can't openly preach at these places because they're not going to allow me in if I am. But if I'm simply having a conversation with someone about, I've been here, I've been in your shoes, you can get through it. It has opened so many doors. I had someone literally look at me and say, how can you be so happy having been through this, what we're going through? They asked the question, and I'm going to give them my answer. And I got to say, there's only one reason that I can smile and have a bright outlook like I do, and it's because of Jesus Christ. And it opens that door for conversation. Now, am I witnessing to every single person? No. But more than anything, I'm bringing light to their day. One of the worst days of their lives, because let me tell you, infusion days are terrible. But if I can give them a gift and let them dig through this basket of fun fabrics that are super soft to the touch, it just brings a smile to their face. So I've done my job.
Wow. So every time someone buys one, it funds another one for you to be able to go and pass out. And then that turns into a ministry opportunity.
Absolutely.
And so in the midst of all of that, in the midst of starting the business, like I said, at first you didn't know what it was going to be. You just thought it was like, is it ministry? Is it business? But you obviously, as you're seeking God, he told you it's going to be both. And to see God had a way of you doing exactly what you're doing, what you love to do, extrovert, bright colors, fashion. And now he mixes that in such a way where you get to do exactly what he wanted you to do, plus what you love to do at the same time.
Yeah. And he even answered another problem that I had that I didn't even know that I was going to have in the business. So I've said the story, when you buy one, I give one.
Yeah.
There's a very small market of people that need beanies.
Right.
So I kept hearing, okay, Jami, I want to support you, but I don't need a beanie. And luckily, I don't know anyone in my life that needs a beanie right now.
Yeah.
And so I kept hearing that over and over again. At the same time, my hair was growing back in.
Okay.
And these curls, I never had curls before. It was a learning curve, let me tell you, because taking care of curls is very different than taking care of straight hair. So my hair was just all over the place.
Yeah.
It was growing in. I didn't know what to do. I went back to my sewing machine. I created an answer to my problem. You can buy headbands at Walmart, but they just weren't doing the trick. I needed something that was really wide in the back that would handle the grow out of the curls.
Okay.
And again, I wanted those bright colors. I wanted it to be soft, and I wanted versatility.
Right.
I created these. So it's a super wide headband. I have one right here so you can see how wide it is. Now, the women watching or listening will know that the cheaper headbands are very narrow. They're not this wide at all. This covers the whole back of my head to keep those curls up off my neck.
Okay.
But also, this is a faux knot on the top, so you can wear it with the top knot. You can wear it with the twist. You can wear it wide in the front. Lots of different ways to wear it. Here's the answer that God gave me. I created these. These are so versatile that girls with any length of hair are going to wear these. These are now funding the beanies. Because I am selling 2 to 3 times the amount of these bands that I am the beanies. But anytime someone buys one of these, it's still funding that part of the business, that generosity part of the business.
Oh, you got the cheat code. You got the cheat code to figure out how to mix business and ministry together.
Absolutely.
Man. Okay. So now that God has established this vision and this dream inside of your heart, what's the end goal? What's the mission? What's the vision? How would I say it? What's the thing that you got, what you're aiming for now that you're doing this? Like, what's the next mark that you have in front of you?
Of course, I'm going to have big goals, but right now, I'm happy where I'm at. Because I'm still focusing on my health.
Yeah.
I had someone recently tell me, Jami, you taking care of yourself is your number one business.
Yeah.
And I have to put self-care on my calendar to make sure I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah.
This is good right here in Tulsa now because it gives me the opportunity to have those connections. Now, long term, I want to see this flood the U.S.
Yeah.
And sadly, one of my big goals is to go into children's sizes so I can reach out to clinics like St. Jude and different places like that, because I know those kids would get so much delight out of a Paw Patrol beanie or a Disney princess beanie or something like that
so
they
cool.
can wear in times that they don't have their hair too. And I've had many friends that have had direct connections with St. Jude. I know how awesome it is.
Yeah.
And I would love to partner with them, but in due time.
Yeah. So, Jami, one way we always have to end every podcast, and now you've given us a whole ton of information. So you have a lot now that you've been thinking about. But if you could go back to your younger self or encourage someone that's watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, and they may be in a season of life where they may be directly affected by something you would have walked through, or they may know someone that's walking through something similar, what would be that piece of advice you would give them?
Early on in my life, when I was leaving my teaching career, getting into multi-level marketing, I really put value in promoting myself and pushing myself and thinking that I could do it all.
Yeah.
And like I said, God has a sense of humor because I never intended to have a hair accessory business.
Yeah.
I never intended for a business to be a ministry.
Yeah.
It's when I stopped pushing and stopped really trying to make things happen that it just happened. Yeah. So I guess if I could put it into one sentence, rely on what God is going to do with you instead of pushing yourself to do what you think God has for you.
Oh, that's good. You preaching, Jami. You preaching. Jami, thank you so much for just lightening up my day with your story.
Mission accomplished.
It's just to see like the resilience, to see how God has been faithful to you. Obviously, I haven't walked through anything like that, but to see through your life the faithfulness of the God that I serve, it encourages me to know He's not a respecter of person, but he responds to people with that has faith and believe Him to do whatever they're needing Him to do.
Absolutely.
And so it's just a blessing to see you walk through and be able to have such joy and to be able to share what God has done for you unashamedly, and just to be able to to testify of His goodness. And so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's really been fun. I love to share my story, and I know that someone listening right now is wondering where God is. Yeah. And all they have to do is talk to Him and look to Him. Not have the perfect words, but just give Him the opportunity to step in.
Couldn't say it any better, ladies and gentlemen. Jami Sullins. Jami, thank you again. It's just a blessing. And I know this is going to reach a wide community because, I mean, obviously, as we know, cancer is something that's become prevalent in our community and in our society. Yeah. But knowing that that's not the end all be all. Right. There's a God that saves. There's a God that's way more powerful than this disease or the sickness. And if we choose to look to Him and trust Him, He can do what He promised He'll do in His word.
Amen.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to wrap this episode up. But like I said in the beginning, if this podcast has helped you, shaped you, encouraged you, motivated you, ignited your faith, I would ask that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you are aware when new episodes are released. And then secondly, if you want to partner with this ministry, you can follow the link below and it'll take you to our website, and you can be able to partner with us there to help us take these stories of faith around the world to the people that need them. And also with Jami, like her information is going to be down below in the comments. Like, she'll have all that information there, and you can be able to decide how you want to partner with her, because every time they purchase one, you give one.
Absolutely. And I'm going to throw out a discount code for anyone that purchases from this podcast.
Yeah.
So that'll be in the info too.
Okay, perfect. There you go. Now, even greater incentive to want to buy and help support the ministry that she's doing. And so that's also there. And then lastly, if you have something that's going on in your life, please reach out to us, send us an email, reach out to us on social media, DM us, or you can send us an email, however you want to do it, but just let us know. And so how we can be standing in faith and belief for the things that you're believing God for. And so with that, like I said, we're gonna have to sign off for today, but until next time, this has been Faith Ignite. Love you guys.